Shalom.
Call Haloyam La Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash, Bakta Yahawah, Bakta Yahweh Shai, Bakta Rakha Kodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash.
Shalom, with double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elders, the elder bishops, and the elders in the Akim and the Akwath of the hopeful elect. Shalom. I just want to go into a quick video entitled, E has zero fear of Yahweh. And so in my last video, I uploaded a clip from this cartoon illustration of Esau, right? And how he does throughout the earth. He's the destroyer of the earth, right? And so the way he moves and acts and behaves is with zero fear of the Almighty that created him. So here in Revelations 11 and 18, or 18, as we saw, how he destroys everything, right? Everything he touches it deteriorates, and death comes upon whatever he touches. So verse 18 right here says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come." And the nations are angry. Why? Because they realize everything he does dies, and his way of life and his philosophies is destruction. And thy wrath is come, and that's coming because the nation's awakening to the abomination that is the so-called white race. And then the wrath of the Lord is going to come. He's going to use the other nations to burn her with fire. And the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shalt give this reward, shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, the Israelites, the 1/3, and to the saints. The prophets are the 144,000, the lot of the government, of the 1/3 elect, and the saints are the rest of the 1/3 believing, faithful elect Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So that lets you know that the destruction of E is immediately followed by the salvation and the kingdom of heaven of the Israelites. Because all that devil does is just destroys, right? Life cannot exist as he's ruling with him in rulership. Everything is heavily oppressed. Psalms 31, Salakia 36, verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord Yahawah. Transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of Yahawah before his eyes. So David was speaking and prophesying too, in the end days, the wicked is the so-called white race. And he's saying the transgression of the wicked. And he's saying within his mind, like, man, there's no fear of the Most High Power Yahawah before this devil's eyes. Because we can clearly see that today, right? The scriptures are timeless, and it spans existence even before the earth was created, until the end times, until Yahawashi returns. So from there we go to Psalms 14 and verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no power. And who came up with the term and philosophy of atheism, or atheist, meaning that there is no power? The so-called white man. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no power. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So the entire nation is wicked. So when you have a tree cannot produce ripe, edible fruit and toxic, rotten fruit, right? Unedible fruit. It cannot. A tree doesn't produce both. So a tree, the root, the stock, meaning the seed of the so-called white race, only produces death. They cannot produce satanic death and also life, well, and cannot also teach a philosophy. They cannot teach life, and they cannot teach the Holy Scriptures, as they have killed everybody. And then also they have a department, a religious department. They can't have the monopoly of evil and murder and theft, and the monopoly on righteousness and true spiritual doctrine of the Most High, right? That's impossible. So Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. That's what America is named after, so-called white man, and Africa and Asia. And they think that their country will last forever. But now, recently, so-called white people, they're starting to realize that this is the downfall of their country and their rulership. They see that their rulership is losing its stranglehold upon the earth. And now the Most High is beating down their pride and slowly bringing them down now. Well, he's actually speeding it up, but it's going to be an agonizing downfall of the so-called white race from here on out, through the power and spirit of YAHAWAH B'Hashem Yahushai's prophecies. And it's playing out and jumping off the pages as we see before our very eyes. So Psalm 36 and 2. For he flattered himself in his own eyes, because his pride has deceived him, and he uplifts himself as he's so pure and holy and superior to everyone, when actually he's the minority of the earth, because no other nation on earth has leprous skin, only him. Every other nation has melanin, so he's actually the minority of the earth. But he flatters himself until his iniquity be found to be hateful. So he's been thriving, and all nations have been wandering after the beast, which he's that fourth beast, the Roman Empire, revised here in America. So he's been flattering himself, making everyone think that he's something special, and that his slaves, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, the Israelites, made us to the bad guy through his media and his lie machine, right? Which media goes into an ancient pagan, heathen, satanic, false god of illusion. So he's put the illusion that he's the good guy, and then the Israelites are the bad guys. And now everyone's starting to see that, because the Most High is making him bear, and now he's beginning to be hated. And so when we let's get that word hateful. To hate, be hateful, to hate of man. So he's hated of man, and we already know it says of God right here. That's of YAHAWAH and YAHAWAH, of course, as well, because YAHAWAH is the direct reflection of YAHAWAH. So we already know the Most High hates this devil, according to Malachi 1 and 3, and then Romans 9 and 13. And so now all the other heathen nations are catching up and realizing he's to be hated. All of his deeds and action, not because of his skin, not because of who he is, but because of his evil, wicked deeds and his hateful spirit, his blasphemous, sinful spirit, and his sinful lips, blasphemous, profane lips. So Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord YAHAWAH B'Hashem Yahushai's hand, that made all the earth drunken. So this is all the Most High's allowance, because the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. And that's Jeremiah 9. That's Job 9:24. And all nations have been drunken through her false philosophies. And this Babylon here is a future Babylon. It's America. And everyone is being drunk with the philosophies, and now they're waking up. The nations have drunken of her wine, and that's the false philosophies of Satan. Therefore, the nations are mad. Now they're awakening to the truth, and now they're mad and angry and realizing that this is the devil the Bible speaks of, because the truth is coming back into the earth, has come back into the earth through the mercies of the Most High, through YAHAWAH. And his mouth on the earth are the prophets of the Israelites. And they've been preaching this and preaching this, and then the vibration of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, is flooding the earth now and restoring things and exposing and shedding and turning the light on the darkness that's been overcast over the entire earth since the Renaissance period. In Jeremiah 49:10. And it's happening now because it's the prophecies coming to pass, left and right, all throughout the scriptures. Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. He cannot hide anywhere now because social media and TikTok is pretty unfiltered. It is very unfiltered. And YouTube is, he tries to control YouTube because that's his platforms, and Google, but he can't hide himself anymore. He's being exposed everywhere. And he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled. He's dying faster than he's being born. So his population numbers are dwindling. And he's just an inferior vessel. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. So that's the ultimate end for him, is he will not be. Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait ye upon me, and we wait upon the Most High patiently, even though it's vexing, but we have no might in our hands. Our might and strength is through Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua. And let the Most High bring down his devil, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. And that prey is Esau, the Edomites. For my determination is to gather the nations. He's going to gather up the other heathen nations, beginning with Russia, Gog and Magog, and all of his allies, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. So the Most High is going to use Russia and its allies with China, Iran, who is Iran, and then the modern Iran is the modern day Persians. Russia is the modern day Medes. Going to raise them up and all of their allies over there. And then America's allies are going to join up with Russia. They're in the process. If you look it up, American allies, NATO and EU, America allies, are linking up and trying to link up with Russia, as they're going to turn on the whore and burn it with fire. And then after the Most High used them to take down Babylon the Great, then Yahweh's going to use his right arm, Yahushua, to take down the rest of the heathen that just took down the whore, America. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And what fire is that? Thermonuclear fire, and the so-called UFO, which is the chariots of the Most High. The laser beam fires that come is going to shoot out of those. The spiritual fire is going to shoot out of those. So Lord willing, have the faith in Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, and Yahweh and Yahushua. Repent, pray for forgiveness, rehearse the righteous acts, keeping the commandments, so that you can make your calling and election sure, to be beamed up into one of the chariots to avoid that fire that's going to sweep throughout the earth. So Psalms 36:3. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. All he do is lie, deceive, and just fabricate, right? He hath left off to be wise and to do good. So the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He sins with his lips by lying all the time and blaspheming and profaning the Most High power, the truth of the Most High. So Proverbs 10:18. He hath hided hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool. So the fool said in his heart, there's no power, and also he lies and deceives as if his ultimate strength. He's not strong physically, mentally, or spiritually, but his strength is his tongue, and he lies. That's why when he came over here off the boats as pilgrims, he had all those peace treaties signed with the natives, and then he lied. Right, that was a lie, right? Because he broke all those treaties and destroyed and slaughtered and enslaved the natives, the Northern Kingdom, and took over the land. So he hid his hatred when he came over with lying lips, like he wanted to be in peace, but behind his back was a sword. So in Psalms 55 and 20, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Because the Native American Indians, so-called the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Latinos, Native American Indians that were here, when he got off those boats, when the so-called white man got off them boats, he put forth his hand as to be at peace and went to sign peace treaties. And then he hath broken his covenant, and he broke that covenant of the peace treaties by destroying the natives, our Israelite Northern Kingdom brothers. Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, because he talks soft, but it's venom laced within those soft words. But war is in his heart, and that heart goes into his mind. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. No one can speak as soft and deceitfully as the so-called white man. That's his strength. His strength is the sword and his tongue. And through his tongue, he casts spells on people who think to lull them to sleep, as they say. And then when they, least expect it, then he rise up against them and destroy them. That's his MO from day one. As Cain did his brother Abel, as they were walking in the way, and then Cain rose up and slew his brother Abel. Cain, the wicked seed, and Abel, the righteous seed. And now that plays out today through the so-called white race as a wicked seed of Cain, and then through Esau, and then Abel, the righteous seed, through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to Jacob, the lost 12 tribes of Israel, who are the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. Now going back to Psalms 36 and 3. Reading the second, let's read the whole verse again. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good, because he had an opportunity, but he decided to go to exit stage left and not walk down the right path. So we'll go to Genesis 4 and 16, as we're just going to Cain. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord YAHAWAH, because if he was stayed in the presence of the Lord, he could have got right and repented and been righteous, but he decided and followed the commandments of the Most High, but he didn't want to do that. And he left from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. So he went and did his own thing. So he left off to be wise. He left from the presence of the Lord YAHAWAH from the garden. And Cain is the grandfather of Esau, and Esau is the father, the progenitor, or the father of the Edomites, the so-called white race. And we'll just get that real quick. Genesis 36 and verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. He's the father of the Edomites, the so-called white nation. So yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to go into that real quick. Spirit jumped on me as I was reading Psalms 36. Esau, he has no fear of the Lord but in all of his actions. If you look at the previous video, a quick 3-minute clip of a YouTube clip of it's entitled Man, and it's going into Esau and how he destroys the earth. And this video is a follow-up to that. So with that being said, I hope this video was edifying. The water to YAHAWAH from the video. YAHAWAH. Till next video I say, Shalom.